Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mun Larimer. I am running for President of the United States, and this is my second video, which I will be touching on my economic policy. Um, I have a little cheat sheet, so it'll help me stay on point a little bit better. I have 7 points that I want to touch upon. The first point is corporate taxes make up 10% of the federal budget. What I want to do is I want to take half of that and give it back to the American people. The only conditioning is that you have to be a U.S. citizen, you have to be over the age of 17, 18 or higher, legal adult, and you have to pay taxes. That's it. It's pretty simple. A logical question would be, where am I going to replace that money from? Which brings me to my second point, my economic plan, is corporate executives. They found a loophole because they put the loophole in the tax bill under the Clinton administration, where they do not pay taxes on their bonuses. It's either they don't pay taxes or they get a massive tax break. So they pay themselves a modest salary and they bonus out like a champ, which is why their bonuses are so high. I want to eliminate that. They will be taxed on all income from their job. Bonus, set salary, doesn't matter. That's going to help. And I have a few other points that will help as well, so I need to press on. Point 3. This one is a little controversial, but it'll really help. All businesses will be required to pay 1% of the top earner in that company to all employees that work 40 hours. So that what that means is, if you work 40 hours a week and you're the lowest paid person in the company, you have to make at least 1% of the top earner in the company, with bonus, set salary, everything. So if the top person gets paid $1 million a year, then the lowest paid employee would have to get paid $10,000 a year, provided they work 40 hours. Now, under minimum wage, it's not a big deal. So for all small and mid-sized companies, it doesn't really affect you. But all these massive, large corporations who dictate a lot of what goes on in our society, companies like McDonald's, Walmart, Chase, they will have to pay their employees what they're worth, or pay their CEOs what they're worth.
Beautiful day, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So, if an executive is getting paid $20 million a year, as a CEO from a large bank would be getting paid with bonus, then the lowest paid employee, or bank tellers, or what have you, even the janitors that go in and clean up, they would be getting paid $200,000 a year. Now, obviously, these companies are not going to pay that. Obviously, they're not, but they will pay their CEOs a lot less, or their top wage earners a lot less, with bonus and everything, all incentives. So what does that mean? That means most likely that products and services across the board will be pushed down, because these corporate executives that are used to buying whatever they want can no longer buy those things. So in order for them to keep buying those things, those material objects, they'll contact their friends in other industries, ask them to push the price down, and in turn they'll push their price down. It's the only way it'll work. Moving on, my next point would be the tariffs. That I'm really not interested in attacking Donald Trump. I'm not really interested in attacking anyone. I'm more interested in explaining what my position is and what I want to do for the country, for you, more or less. But this particular thing, it is a direct attack on Donald Trump. And I'm sorry. I will remove all tariffs that are being imposed. And then I will open a conversation with other countries that are our allies and anyone else who would like to be a part of that conversation about dumping. That really kills the economy. That really destroys the economy, not just here in America, but across the world. And what my idea would be is to put a cap per item that's imported, not just here in America, but in every country, so that businesses can't overflood that market, that country, whatever item that is, so that the people in that country lose their job. They lose everything, and it destroys the financial system that those countries, including our own, have in place to help their own people. So it's not tariffs that are the issue or the answer. Dumping is the issue, and we need to work with our allies to figure out the solution. Moving on. Next point would be taxes. I want to impose a flat tax across the board, roughly, and I say roughly, 20 to 21%, with the exception of corporate taxes. I want to impose a variable flat tax. Now, the variable is this: it's technology. We can't get away from technology, and technology is going to help everyone's lives get better, but for those people who lose their jobs, it makes it a lot worse. So companies that would use or they develop technology for the purpose, or whether it's direct or indirect, of eliminating jobs, they get imposed an extra 7% tax. So, and that 7%, half of it will go to the American people in that same fund that I talked about in the very beginning of the video, and the other 3.5% will go directly to the employees who lose their job. The sixth point is going to sound a little humorous to a lot of Americans, but if you take it seriously, there's a lot of validity behind it. I want to, on a federal level, legalize marijuana. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to create a lot of jobs. It's going to create a whole new industry. And we'll be spending less federally on attacking and going after marijuana suppliers, drug trafficking. We won't be focused on marijuana. We'll be focused more on the hard drugs. Not that we're not already, but marijuana does encompass a good portion of the federal budget, which would strike a hard blow to the cartels. They don't get a lot of their money from marijuana, but it is a substantial portion. So legalizing marijuana would do a great number of benefits, and all it really is at this point is herbal prohibition. That's all it is. People have been doing it since they've made it illegal, since before they made it illegal, I should say. And it's not going to stop. All we're doing is just put people in jail and ruining lives because they want to smoke weed. And that may not be political or presidential to say, but it's not American to destroy people's lives when they're not really causing harm. They're not doing anything wrong to society. With having businesses out there that would cater to those individuals, we also take away from, you know, being exposed to those drug dealers that exposes you to more than just marijuana. So we can cut down on the addictions to hard drugs. Legalizing marijuana does a great number of benefits for our economy. And the last point, which if you didn't think anything I said as controversial as it is, this one definitely is. Ever since the decline of unions, the American worker has saw a great decline in pay, equality, benefits. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mun Larimer. I am running for President of the United States, and this is my second video, which I will be touching on my economic policy. I have a little cheat sheet, so it'll help me stay on point a little bit better. I have 7 points that I want to touch upon. The first point is corporate taxes make up the wage, no more. And what that's going to do is obviously going to create jobs as well, but the people that are going to be representing you in the union, as it's always worked, and it will be mandated, that they are elected by you and they come from the same work environment as you. I would ask Teamsters to help and assist in setting us up with this. But the other side of it is I want to make it federally illegal for unions to support any candidate. You know, you can't take money that a group of people give you and then you decide who's the better candidate. That's not the purpose of a union. Now, to support or fight against any particular bill that affects the workforce, the workplace, yeah, you know, no more than 3% of your revenue can go to fight or support any bill. But candidates, any political stances, no, not at all. The unions need to stay away from the political arena. They've done a lot of negative things for this country in that regard. And you know, no one's done worse than lobbyists. But that'll have to be addressed in another video at another time. Like I said, my name is Mun Larimer. I'm running for President of the United States. I am at the park and I'm trying to stay away from people as much as possible. So I don't intrude on people's fun. It's made it a little challenging, but thank you for watching. And I hate to sound really cliche and really weird, because this is not me, but please hit the like button if you like the video. Please send me a comment whether you like it or dislike it, because I am not set in my ways. I'm willing to listen to what people have to say as long as it is constructive. You know, you can say, oh, I don't like that, and that doesn't really help. And even if you say, ooh, I do like that, that doesn't help either, to be honest with you. What specifically do you like or don't you like? And if you don't like it, how would you change it? And how would it affect the American people in a positive way? But please share the video, because the only way we're going to be able to turn our country around is by doing it ourselves. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.